understand that some of you feel as though that the McMahon-Helmsley faction last Monday on Raw just wasn't fair. That's just too damned bad. Because if you don't think it was fair Monday, you're probably the same kind of people when you will honestly and objectively look into the full-length mirror. And you look at yourselves and you say, ugh, that can't be me. No, that can't be me with the pot belly and the small genitalia. Oh, no, that's not fair.
It really is you, Michael.
And you look at yourselves and you compare yourselves to the genetic jackhammer.
Oh my gosh, so close. He kicked out. He kicked out. He kicked out. Smash him. Smash him. Smash him.
Welcome to the Full Nelson Press Podcast, episode 74, an Ask TFNP episode. I am the creator of the FullNelsonPress.com. My name is Brandon Kirkpatrick. You can find me on Twitter at JohnnyJonny_Tango. I'm here with the president of People Power, Mr. Peter O'Brien. You can also find him on Twitter at MVP360. And of course, you can follow the Full Nelson Press on Twitter at TFNP. Pete, how's it going?
Hey, Brandon. I'm good. We really don't have an event to talk about, so we came up with a great idea of ask our millions and millions of listeners to send us
millions and millions
and millions of TFNP fans chanting Brandon's name. Mediocre.
Team Brandon. Hashtag Team Brandon.
Hashtag Team Pete.
No, fuck off.
No.
All right, so yeah, we decided this week we're going to do some listener questions, so we're just going to do this to just fill up.
Should we just dive in?
Yeah, we'll just dive right in first. And just a heads up, if I say your username wrong, that's your fault. You spelt it how I'm saying it. So, but just remember to use the hashtag TFNP on Facebook, Twitter, Wrestling Amino, or just email your questions at contact@thefullnelsonpress.com. First question here is from Pimp Scuro. I think he asks, what WWE Championship do we think is getting devalued the most and why?
All right, Universal title, because it's never there.
They should always just put a podium out with it on it and just say, yeah, Brock owns this.
Yeah, that's basically it, because we never see it until Brock comes on. So That's why it's ridiculous. A close second is the Women's SmackDown title.
I'd love to say the Cruiserweight title, but it's never been valued, so I can't really say.
You can't really go that route.
Right?
Nobody cares.
I would say both women's titles and both tag titles, just because since we've done the split, it just doesn't feel right. Both tag teams are named too similar to each other. There's not too much going on. It just feels like we have half a division in each division. So I would go with both women's titles and tag titles on both brands.
Good job, Brandon. That's a great answer.
Shut up. Christian X. Michaels asks, which current WWE jobber would be the best choice to bring up to the, I think he means main event card or mid card or something like that.
Basically the next gender.
Yeah, the Ginderella story is what I'll call it. I would go with Heath Slater. Make that 3MB thing like a powerful faction. But I think Heath Slater's funny. I think he could do a lot the same things that Miz can do. So I would go with Heath Slater.
I think I would go Bo Dallas.
Okay.
But just let him run with it longer. Like, they did not give that. Just Bo leave. But they didn't let him do his flip the switch thing like he did in NXT. Like, he was that cheesy, pompous asshole. But yet, he was so over as a heel because he annoyed the shit out of everyone. And WWE just was like, well, we're not going to do that. And that's why he's just been struggling.
Well, I think they have a problem with, like, character development with him because they do the whole thing where he gets introduced to the main event roster by beating Wade Barrett a couple times, and he starts up a feud with that, and then they just drop it cold. And now he's supposed to be the annoying wrestler, but to anyone with this fan base, it's kind of like, which character of Bo Dallas are we going to root for this year?
Exactly. Close second is Curtis Axel.
Yeah. Good choice. I really think he's being underutilized. I think if you gave him the right gimmick, he would go very far with it. And I feel like anytime they make a new gimmick, they're like, let's give it to someone who's not Curtis Axel.
It just sucks because the whole I have yet to be eliminated from the Royal Rumble gimmick. Killing.
Yep.
Oh, it was so good.
Axelmania was enjoyable. I'll give him that one.
Absolutely.
Joey P asks, if we could give Mike Bennett, or what's his name, Mike Kanellis, a different gimmick, what would it be?
Fired.
Unemployed. Another drifter gimmick.
Hit the bricks. No one cares. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care.
You know what? I don't mind his current gimmick. I really don't.
Shut up.
I know you don't. I know we disagree on this, and I know he's lost a lot, but I still think they could go somewhere with the current gimmick. It annoys people in the right way. It can get the right amount of heat for both him and his wife. I don't mind the gimmick he has, so I wouldn't change his gimmick.
No. The unemployment man. You can have, oh my God, the welfare king to go along with the welfare queen.
From Glow?
Glow.
Oh, okay. All right.
Get it?
That's dumb. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't like you, Mike Kanellis. I don't care.
Broken Brother Nero, not that one, asks, do you want the broken gimmick in the WWE?
No.
Yes and no. I enjoyed the gimmick in TNA, but it's creative in control of it, so it's gonna fucking suck.
Yep, it's gonna be buried. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking forward to it.
The American Nightmare asks, or wants to know what we think of Natalya being #1 contender. Do you think she's trying to revive her career and have the championship gold one last time? Well, first, I don't think that's her decision. This is creative. It's not like even if she asked, she doesn't have no footing backstage to be like, I want to be #1 contender this month. Do I think she's going to win the title? Maybe. Only because it's Naomi, so who fucking knows?
Well, it all depends, too, if Naomi wants to even defend it. Yeah. She's apparently got this power from Brock Lesnar, but for the women, they're like, I don't. I'm a fighting champion.
Don't do it. Don't.
Go.
Bring it to the floor.
But I think Natalya will be good because I think there's good talent there, and if anyone's been a backer of NXT, you saw the match she put on with Charlotte down there.
Yeah, that was an awesome match.
She's awesome in the ring.
I think if you put her the right opponent and don't give her a gimmicky storyline, she can put on an amazing match.
Exactly. I think it's good. I hope she wins because Naomi's forgettable.
FKTHP asks, what are your thoughts on Styles winning back the U.S. title, and what are your thoughts on Nakamura and Cena happening next week? With Styles winning the title, this whole thing has just been such a, I don't even know how to explain this, but it's been such a shitty roller coaster. He wasn't supposed to lose the title, so they have Jericho just come back in to transfer the title back over. It just feels like if you're not going to give us a good Owens and Styles match, just be done with this.
They've given good matches, it's just that finish fucked up.
Yeah.
But Jericho just popping in and putting on a match like that, I don't care. I was fine with it.
It was a good match.
That's a good way to transfer the belt without it just being another one-on-one. But you got to do something for the belt at SummerSlam more than just a one-on-one match. There's got to be something more.
So what are your thoughts on Cena and Nakamura coming up?
Excited. I like Nakamura, and I think him and Cena will be able to put together something good.
I almost feel like this is it shouldn't be on television. This is almost a pay-per-view. What the fuck are you doing, WWE?
You can't do that. You got to make sure your pay-per-views suck and your TV shows get better.
Right. I guess that's the case.
That's what they're going for.
Yeah. Azam asks, who do you think John Cena's last match will be against, and when do you think that's going to happen? Who? It's going to be somebody new he's going to put over. That just seems like the way we don't even. He's probably whoever it is probably not even in the Performance Center yet.
Yeah, he might not be there. Watch it be Jason Jordan.
That would be cool. I'd be totally down for that. But I also see Cena getting into more movie roles and stuff. I don't see him leaving how The Rock left. I see Cena coming back at least wrestling 3 months out of the year, even 10 years from now, even, I could see that. It's going to be a long time before we see John Cena fully put his, not boots, weird shoes up.
Yeah, his New Balances. His New Balance and jorts.
Mutt asks, do you think SummerSlam is going to be as bad as Battleground?
Come on, Mutt. No. There's no way anything's going to be that bad. That was just beyond terrible. That was so bad.
It was a shit show pay-per-view. But hey, that just means SummerSlam is going to be good because they're pretty much just trying to stall out as much as possible so that way they can use all the good matches on SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I really think SummerSlam has kind of turned into, I know they say it a lot with being like the summer's WrestleMania, but now that we've switched to the network, I think there's more star power and they put, I think, a little bit more effort into SummerSlam than they used to. BGK and the Golf Club Fear asks, who do you think is winning the Fatal 4-Way match for the Universal title at SummerSlam? We got Braun Strowman retaining, or Brock Lesnar retaining, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe.
I'm going Joe.
Okay.
It makes the most sense for Joe to win.
I think Braun Strowman's coming out the Universal Champion.
Well, with the whole Fatal 4-Way, this way, like, everyone can win and make it, like, more realistic of, like, you know, Strowman, if he just, like, he could be overpowered or whatever by, like, two other guys, so then Joe can sneak in and grab the title, and it wouldn't look all weird that, like, Joe won over Strowman. And then you could have your whole Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe thing. Because you know that's what you want.
You say that, but come SummerSlam night, we're going to see Roman Reigns with all three other men laying on top of each other, and he just pins all of them at once.
Oh, I know, and I'm going to be like, I'm done.
Vintage HCB asks, when do you think Carmela and Corbin are cashing in? I feel like one could happen at SummerSlam. I mean, we have two briefcases, so they got to be, like, trigger happy with one of them.
Yeah, I think out of any of them, I think Carmella is more ready to hold the belt. So I think she be the first one to cash in. I just still think they don't have a firm backing with Baron Corbin yet.
No, I agree. And it even would make even more sense for her to be the one to cash in at SummerSlam, because let's say Natalya wins it, and then Carmella immediately cashes in, then we get another Carmella and Natalya feud, which I'm not a fan of, but I know backstage they're like, well, Natalya could definitely carry Carmella up to that prestige status we need her to be the champion.
Yeah, like, it would be a smart move.
Following up on that, Doc Death Dunn asks, if Baron Corbin cashes in at SummerSlam, who do you think is going to be his rival? So pretty much is it going to be whoever was the champion? I would see Shinsuke Nakamura winning it, and because I kind of feel like we're going to get a triple threat match with John Cena, Jinder Mahal, and Shinsuke Nakamura, and I see out of that match Shinsuke Nakamura winning it, and then Baron immediately cashing in if that would be the case.
That makes most sense. I'm actually 100% in agreement with you.
All right.
Yeah, agreed.
Pinka99 asks, what are your thoughts on a rumored superstar shakeup this year? Sounds like we might be getting another one after SummerSlam.
What's wrong with it?
Well, you can't really establish either brand with as many times someone flip-flops back and forth.
Well, they're not doing anything with them anyways.
That is true.
It's not like it really matters.
The old logic used to be that, oh, great, we're getting someone's going to SmackDown so that way they can get a little bit more TV time than they normally would on Raw, but both shows have just been, like, rutting it through the mud lately, so that can't even be the case right now.
I don't know. I mean, I'm down. I like it.
I'm indifferent. I could care less at this point. Uncle TEB asks, if you could change one thing about
Hold on. Uncle TFB.
Ah.
Right?
Yeah, Uncle TFB. Yeah, all right. If you could change one thing about WWE in 2017, what would you change?
Get rid of pay-per-views.
The one thing I think I'd change is the year. I'd make it 2020, and hopefully Vince isn't running the show anymore.
Oh, thank God. That'd be awesome. But I would get rid of a bunch of pay-per-views.
Yeah, and you know what? I would focus mostly on, for my network, less pay-per-views, more original shows, and more tournaments. I would like to see, a tournament every 3 months, some kind of, like, gimmick to it, can have a trophy to it. I think it still, like, fills up that niche. And then also give NXT 2 hours every week.
I think their roster's too thin right now.
I think you could give people longer matches and just give people longer promos. You don't have to, maybe add 1 or 2 matches if you really have to. Next one is from Jason, #TheDraw asks, do you think that WWE bringing up so many top indie guys is hurting the industry? No.
No.
They've always been doing it this way. I mean, look how many times they borrowed people from ECW just to ride on that hardcore coattails during the 90s. I don't see that here.
No, the thing that's hurting the industry is that Vince thinks he has so much money and power, and it's just buying all network spots, which is leaving Ring of Honor on at 11 o'clock Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know, like
on your local Fox station.
There's your biggest hurt is Vince just throwing his money around until Ring of Honor and Global Force and all that can whatever get together or something. I don't know. There's got to be something, but WWE has too much power right now.
I agree with that, but yeah, I don't see it hurting the industry at all. I just see people getting paychecks, and how many wrestlers nowadays are coming into the WWE for a couple years? Like, look at Austin Aries. He comes in for a year, not happy with his position, he's out. And that's not going to hurt him. He's going to go get more indie shows. I don't see this day and age, and especially with the way that they've been handling other companies, like having Dixie Carter on the fucking network. I mean, I don't think it's too taboo to be going to another wrestling promotion and being able to come back and vice versa.
Yeah.
Speed Start TJ asks, who are guys you think will get called up from NXT onto the main event roster soon?
Asuka's got to get called up, right?
The last two NXTs have started with Ember Moon being the opening match, so I think they're totally we can now let Asuka move on, give Ember Moon the belt, and she could totally carry the women's division on NXT with no issue.
Yeah.
Vinny Video asks, who do you think is the next big NXT star? Drew McIntyre. I really see Drew McIntyre.
I have been seeing some of his promos, so I'm wondering if they think he's going to be the next big one.
Right, he's number one contender right now against Bobby Roode.
Yeah, he is taking on Bobby Roode, which is cool. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to really say.
Yeah, because we're right now in a transition. I think right after Brooklyn, we're going to see a flood of people from the Performance Center coming on to television. I think they're just holding off on some of it. But right now, yeah, I definitely see the singles division. Right now, I think your top four guys in NXT single division is Hideo Itami, Cassius Ohno.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Where'd my sandwich go?
Oh, my God. Someone give me a pastrami sandwich. I saw Tommy pick that load up on his shoulders, and it looked awful. And I'm like, he's gotten bigger.
He even picked him up. You can see he was like, oh, no, oh, no.
Oh, and no.
Finn Balor fan 789 wants to know if we enjoyed the Attitude Era more or the Ruthless Aggression Era more.
It's Attitude Era, by far.
I don't know, man. It's hard. Both of them had different things I really liked about them. Ruthless Aggression was the time that we got to see a little bit more Eddie Guerrero. In the main event scene, we got to see Brock Lesnar finally coming up and taking out people like The Rock, and we got Bumblebutt Goldberg. So I'm gonna go with Attitude Era.
Well, it was. You watched The Rock and Stone Cold go back and forth and Triple H. It was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Stories were so much better.
So speaking of Attitude Era, the King of Old School asks, what was our favorite Attitude Era match?
Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon in the King of the Ring.
Oh, okay. It was my first pay-per-view I watched. Still one of my favorite matches. It was, I think it was an Unforgiven or Bad Blood or something like that, and it was Undertaker versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and if Stone Cold Steve Austin bled, he got fired from the company. And to me, that was real to me. I was like, not Stone Cold. Don't say it. And it was a good match. Undertaker ended up losing but Stone Cold, because they've been having these blood matches the whole week, he's just covered in Band-Aids,
yeah.
So they got to keep patching him back up so they don't count. Right away he gets his back cut and they're like, oh, that don't count. It's got to be gushing from his face. But it's still one of my favorite matches.
Yeah, that match was great.
The Phenomenal One asks, what do you think could have happened if WCW defeated the WWF in the Monday Night Wars? Even if WCW won the Monday Night Wars, I still see Ted Turner losing the power and them still shit-canning WCW, even if it won. Because if you hear all the stories, the company was done with wrestling and didn't care how it was doing. They were just done.
I think Vince McMahon still had so much money anyways that if WCW won, he would just buy him anyways.
It's true. That's very true.
Give me WCW. We beat you in the ratings. Well, it's mine now. And that means I won. I beat myself. You know why? Because I'm a genetic jackhammer.
Jabroni Scrub asks, if you could bring back one gimmick match for just one night, what would it be and who would be in it?
Hardcore match.
Oh, yeah.
You remember hardcore matches? They were so great.
And you know who I'd put in it? The entire mid-card roster. You know, just make it one long match.
Because then you realize how much that little hardcore title helped people, the likes of like Crash Holly.
Right, exactly.
You know, Bob Holly. All these like kind of like mid-tier performers, but they had something to go for and people were investing.
Right? Put like, let's say Braun Strowman gets the title, right? And he gets just like choke slam from Big Show. And out of nowhere, Primo comes in and pins him. Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't hurt anybody. And then like Primo gets his head kicked off from Zack Ryder and he gets pinned there. Like, wham, bam, thank you, man.
So great. The whole defend the title all the time was so good.
Oh, man, it was so good. T asks, which wrestler has improved the most this year?
Could you say Jinder?
I don't think Jinder Mahal has improved at all.
I don't think he's improved, but he's just gotten bigger, like, performing-wise. He's got, like, stories now.
Yeah, I guess he is better on the mic, but in the ring, he's still mediocre.
I mean, Baron Corbin's gotten a lot better.
He has improved. I'll give him that. Good for you, Baron. Alexander Black wants to know what has been our favorite match in 2017 so far. Well, that 2 out of 3 falls match with DIY and the Revival.
That was amazing.
The ladder match between DIY and Authors of Pain, also another just as equally great match, I think.
Tyler Bate versus the
Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Yeah, that match was really good.
That match was epic. That's my pick.
Okay.
Notice how they're all NXT?
Yeah, none of it. Nothing's even a main roster match.
I went into the whole Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate match like, I don't know who these guys are. I'm not a big fan, I don't think. And then I was like, oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the ladder match between DIY and Authors of Pain. There was a lot of really fun spots, a lot of really cool tag team, and I think Authors of Pain showed that they can really step it up in the ring.
All right.
Fridge asks, what has been your favorite mid-card championship match on the main event roster and why?
So it's just got to be that U.S. title match we just watched on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
That match was epic. That was so good.
I absolutely agree.
I hate to say, like, just because it's fresh in our mind, but it is. That match was so good.
Well, we haven't had any open challenges from John Cena this year because he hasn't been champion with anything like that. And the IC title the entire 2017 has just been Dean Ambrose and The Miz going back and forth.
Yeah, so don't care.
Exactly. T-Money wants to know what we think is the worst pay-per-view of all time.
All time?
All time. I didn't even have to look one up. I had one.
All right, what is it?
It was a Vengeance 2013, I want to say, maybe 2012. It was the one where Big Show and Mark Henry broke the ring for a second time. It wasn't a pay-per-view that like pissed me off. It was just a pay-per-view that I just was like, I don't even want to watch wrestling anymore. It was such a shitty pay-per-view. It was their last time they used the word vengeance in a pay-per-view.
Battlegrounds almost made me quit watching wrestling.
I don't blame you, and you were not alone there.
That sucked so bad. I'm going with Battlegrounds. I don't care. I know there's probably another one somewhere, but yeah, I'm going Battlegrounds.
Sarah Retrack asks, favorite stable of all time?
Oh my God, this is no-brainer. Right to censor.
Right.
No-brainer. I'm not even going to hesitate on that. They were such dicks, and I loved it. They had the worst song. They were just the worst, but they had such good chemistry, and it was such a good faction. I'm picking that over.
Oh, you're picking it over NWO, DX,
the Shield,
Evolution.
I'm picking right to censor. I don't even care.
What's your second pick? Mean Street Posse?
They were right up there.
Whatever.
The Spirit Squad.
I'm going with the Shield. They were the most protected stable that worked, that made sense, that I never had an issue, had some of the greatest pay-per-views, pay-per-view matches. They didn't ruin it like the NWO put too many people in it, and they didn't like overpower it like they did with Evolution and DX. I gotta go with the Shield. The Soft and the Wrestling Geek asked, who is our favorite wrestler of all time?
This is tough.
This is really hard.
I had it down to 3.
Who?
But I think my favorite of all time is Jericho. But the other 2 were The Rock and Kurt Angle.
I was gonna go with Kurt Hennig. I think is my all-time favorite wrestler. Number 2, got to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was one of the biggest reasons I got into wrestling. Without him, I wouldn't be watching it today. And number 3, Rick Rude. I love Rick Rude.
Rick Rude is so good, too. Yeah, there's so many good ones. But yeah, like the top 3 I remember Jericho was the only reason I watched WCW. The whole thing with Dean Malenko and the armbar. Move number 2. headlock. And then his whole feud with Goldberg was so great.
Yeah, and then it carried on for years.
Then he comes into WWE and starts off right with The Rock. He's thrown right into the fire and killed it.
Right.
With Stephanie McMahon, that whole thing was great. And he has been relevant every time he comes back because he has changed his gimmick. That dude has evolved from like the Ayatollah of rock and roll to like Save Us to the Business Jericho.
Right.
To now he was the rocker Jericho to now this kind of like, I wear scarves to Jericho and like, he kills it every time. And then Kurt Angle was just amazing. He was awesome in the ring. He was great on the mic. He was hilarious. I mean, that dude has some of the most quotable lines. And then, I mean, The Rock is such a pioneer. Like, I mean, Stone Cold probably pioneered the most.
Yeah.
But The Rock started bringing more fire behind his words that made it sound so real. Like, he killed it.
Yeah.
And he was funny. But, like, he would flip a switch and be serious. You'd be like, wow, The Rock's awesome.
Right. You could be laughing at him and be intimidated at the same time. So, good picks. Yeah. With Kurt Hennig, just amazing in the ring, amazing on the mic. He was a character as a kid I hated. But I loved to hate him. He was like Ted DiBiase. Like I enjoyed Mr. Perfect so much. Same with Rick Rude. Rick Rude, I think I'd love to say he's my all-time favorite wrestler. It's just I know there's so many like I enjoy Rick Rude so much. And then of course Stone Cold being just Stone Cold. He was like what CM Punk kind of was to like the modern era. He was just a guy that just shot from the hip in his promos, and you don't see that anymore in wrestling.
Oh, that first promo where he's just like, you write your psalms, you write your verses. The Lost at 316 just said, I whooped your ass. And it's just like, awesome.
Right?
Awesome.
Well, hey, we got to give a special thank you to the Wrestling Amino app. A lot of these questions came from them, if not all of them. We asked them to give us some questions, and they really pulled through with us. But that is the Full Nelson Press Podcast, episode 74, an Ask TFNP episode. Anything else you want to add, Pete?
No.
All right, we'll go watch some wrestling.
Yeah, bet.
You're so dumb.
I don't have anything.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Leave us a comment and the guys might give you a shout out on the next episode. If you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure to leave us a review. You can also find the Full Nelson Press on Stitcher, Facebook, Wrestling Amino, Instagram, or visit us at thefullnelsonpress.com.